Tom Verducci's joining us via the Cowherd Global Satellite Network. SI, three-time National Sports Writer of the Year. What was it like to be in the stadium last night? Because on television, that puppy popped. That was unbelievable last night, Tom.
I'm with you. Of course, having a crowd here, his home crowd, I thought raised the stakes and the energy level. And for me, the fact that his dad, Ron, was pitching to him. You know, think about it. His dad was a construction worker, put up a lot of the roads and buildings on the Vegas Strip. When Bryce was a kid, his dad would bring home rebar for him to swing. That's how he learned how to swing rebar. And his dad, of course, like a lot of dads, would throw a BP in the backyard. Now you're doing it on the big stage last night. And as you said, that last minute, 9 out of the last 10 swings, home runs in the last minute, and he had to have them. That was pretty cool.
You know, when Bryce broke into the league, there was a little pushback on him. He was a little dramatic. He was sort of Reggie Jackson before he'd earned the right to be Reggie Jackson. And I kind of felt his first couple of years, there's a little pushback on him. I feel like now baseball's put their arms around him. Do you feel that?
Yeah, I do. I think so. And you ask anybody in this clubhouse, especially his manager, Dave Martinez, what's not to like, right? And I think you're right. When he came up, yeah, he was brash. He was cocky. He was also 19 years old, right? He's a teenager. So given the fact now that he's got this experience of 6-7 years, I do agree that I don't hear any guys on the other side of the field, for instance, the way we heard when he was a rookie, you know, say, I don't know about this guy's rap here and the way he plays the game. I don't hear those complaints anymore about Bryce.
Let me defend Bryce's batting average. Listen, analytics, defensive shifts, ground balls don't get through, hit the ball in the air. Could I not argue that we've just got to come to terms like the NBA, the mid-range jumper doesn't matter as much. We got to come to terms with this. That guys are going to hit 230, but if they give you 50 bombs and 94 runs driven home, are we overreacting to his average dipping, or is it a real concern?
Well, it's a slight concern, but there is an overreaction. And I like your comp about the NBA because baseball, like the NBA, going to more three-point shots is more about the long ball. And the three-point play here is the home run. So singles are at an all-time low. Guys don't get paid on singles now, not really even on base percentage. You get paid on slugging. It's the ability to slug. And you look at Bryce at 26, what does he do well? He slugs. That's why he is an incredible asset and will be on the free agent market. And yes, Colin, I got to tell you, shifts have really hurt this guy. The shifts on Bryce have actually doubled in the last 3 years, and that really has hurt his batting average. So I think if you talk about next year the possibility of some kind of governor or outright ban on a shift, you'll watch that batting average go up.
By the way, you wrote the article, The Chosen One, when he was a 16-year-old on the cover. And people, you know, I always think you were probably, there was a little bit of Tom Verducci that was reluctant because you're putting a guy on the cover at 16, but he's clearly been able to handle it. Do you remember the interview? What do you remember about him then as a kid?
Oh, yeah, I remember it because I have a son the same age. And I'm thinking, I don't know if this guy should be on the cover of SI. Maybe that's too much for somebody to handle. And then I met him and talked to him and spent time with the family. And I said, this kid's going to be just fine. Now, you never know if a guy's going to be this good. But in terms of having his act together, in terms of supreme confidence about what he was and what he wanted to be, he blew me away, I got to tell you. And especially his love for baseball, his intellect, his understanding of baseball history. A lot of these guys never get the baseball history. He was into it at 19 years old, 16 years old.
Okay, let's talk Manny Machado. He's a great player. The Yankees have such good chemistry. I don't even know if you want to put a huge star in there, and I'm not sure if they need it. Whereas the Dodgers could use it. Listen, a lot of people could use Manny Machado. Do we have any information? Do you have a lean on where you think he ends up?
Yeah, I think it's looking like National League. You know, I had a good conversation with Manny yesterday, and what he told me is he is a shortstop. And even next year, after he signs with another club as a free agent, he will be a shortstop. So I don't see him going to any team that's going to put him at third base. He's not interested in that. And I think you're talking about someone who can change the profile of the National League. One player, because I think if you order the teams, Colin, Dodgers would be number 1, Phillies number 2, Brewers number 3. Put him on any one of those 3 teams, and he may make the difference between going to the World Series or not. So I'd say right now I'd be leaning towards the L.A. Dodgers. And, hey, we still have a few hours before first pitch tonight. Maybe he'll be in the National League tonight.
Well, you know what's funny is that on my screen right now, Tom, you can't see this. It says report, Orioles expected to trade Manny Machado to the Dodgers, so it could be on the Twitterverse. Let me ask you, if I'm a casual baseball fan, I've never seen Manny Machado, what is he? Somebody that's blind, never seen him play, what does he do?
He's an elite player who we just talked about shifts, uses the entire field line to line, gap power and big power, incredible intellect for the game, great instincts. You look at his games played, other than the 1 year he had the knee injury, he posts almost every night, a baseball rat. He is an impact player. And in this market, I believe he's the only impact player that will switch teams this July, whether a pitcher or a position player. I think he's a better third baseman than a shortstop. I think he's like an all-time great defender at third. He's probably slightly above average at shortstop. That's still good enough, but I'd say third base, man, it suits his skills better than shortstop. But as I said, it's kind of like being a quarterback or a point guard, Colin. If you think you're a shortstop, you never give that up.
Yes, no question about that. Well, it's the only All-Star game in sports that is imminently watchable. I'll be on it. Fox Sports, Tom Verducci, the All-Star game tonight. We'll keep you updated on Manny Machado. Great stuff, Tom. Thank you.
Thanks, Colin.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.